Hello, I'm HomoArrosor. Today is July 2026, and I'm going to walk you through the exact factual assembly line of on-chain finance that is activating right now. Look, what we are witnessing here is not just another pilot program. It is not a test. We are watching the multi-trillion-dollar traditional financial system permanently lock its core infrastructure straight into the blockchain space. And this transition is happening right now through a tightly scheduled, undeniable series of events. In this explainer, we are going to examine the exact mechanics of how the DTCC is bringing US Treasuries on-chain. We will see exactly why this mandates a very strict registered wallet system, and how this directly triggers the absolute need for a global identity layer to solve what we call the human onboarding puzzle. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our agenda for today. First, Hub and Treasury clearing. Second, the July 15 limited production. Third, Treasuries and digital dollars. Fourth, registered wallets and KYC silos. Fifth, PiVerify KYB and sign-in. And finally, number 6, root wallets and AI agents.
Section 1, Hub and Treasury clearing.
I will start with the massive digital gateway that just opened on July 8 for thousands of corporate entities. The sheer pressure of this timeline we are looking at is honestly staggering. It is a strict, highly calculated industrial pipeline designed to force thousands of institutions into a centralized digital clearing structure before the mandatory SEC deadlines hit. On December 31st of this year, 2026, the mandate for U.S. Treasury cash clearing kicks in, no exceptions. Then, by June 30, 2027, the Treasury repo clearing mandate follows right behind it. This creates an absolute explosion in the number of hedge funds and asset managers that are legally required to connect to the FICC, that is the Fixed Income Clearing Corporation. We're talking about pushing an estimated $4 trillion of additional daily trading volume directly into central clearing. To handle this massive, unprecedented influx, on July 8th, the DTCC launched the Client Onboarding Hub. It is essentially a high-speed production line built from the ground up to process thousands of corporate entities before that December deadline hits.
Now, you might be wondering, how does the FICC actually manage this influx without breaking down? Well, they rely on two distinct structures, ensuring that trusted gatekeepers hold the liability at all times. In the sponsored member structure, the massive banks step up and do the heavy lifting for hedge funds. They submit the trades, and crucially, they bear the ultimate default risk. On the other side, in the executing firm customer model, an agent handles proxy clearing for entities that are completely non-members. But here's the thing, the core philosophy is absolutely identical across both models. The massive central clearinghouse shifts the operational and legal burden entirely onto the major financial intermediaries. These gatekeepers are the ones who must absolutely guarantee the identity, the compliance, and the reliability of their end customers. So, to actually get these clients into the system at scale, intermediaries use this exact 5-step process. First, they upload legal entity identifiers, or LEIs. The system then automatically cross-references these with global GLEIF databases for instant validation. From there, the FICC runs mandatory OFAC sanctions checks and jurisdiction reviews to make sure everything is completely above board. Next, they execute the digital legal agreements, and finally, they activate the trading identifier in the live environment. What used to be a completely fragmented nightmare of manual spreadsheets and emails is now a high-speed, integrated lifecycle management dashboard. It is a digital assembly line, locking in institutional money at record speed.
Section 2, July 15, limited production. Moving from the participant layer to the asset layer, I will detail exactly what happens as experimentation ends and actual production begins. The July 15 launch executes real asset tokenization in a strictly controlled environment. Let's be very clear about this. The DTCC is utilizing real, actual securities custodied at the depository trust company. These tokens maintain the exact same legal ownership rights and traditional CSIP identifiers as the assets sitting in the legacy system right now. Crucially, this initial phase moves free of value. What does that mean? It means the asset changes hands natively on-chain 24/7 between registered wallets, but the cash settlement leg remains in the traditional NSCC system for now, and the tokens do not yet carry DTC collateral value. This is a monumental shift. It is the very first time the foundational ledger of U.S. markets is extending its true legal reality onto a blockchain in a live, working production environment. And this brings us to the digital omnibus account. This mechanical choke point ensures that a token is not just some separate synthetic asset. No, it is a direct, legally bound extension of the official DTC ledger. The process is brilliantly strict. The traditional security is moved into a highly specialized digital omnibus account within the DTC, and it is locked there. Only after it is securely locked does the Composer X factory mint the corresponding token.
From that exact moment on, the ledger scan system tracks the location of that token across registered wallets in near real time. Because the underlying security is locked tight in the omnibus account, it literally cannot be traded on the legacy system while the token is moved onto chain. This completely eliminates any possibility of double spending. It's like a giant puzzle where the physical piece is held in a vault while its digital ghost moves freely, perfectly mirroring its real-world ownership.
Section 3. Treasuries and digital dollars.
Now, I will focus on the specific asset powering this entire financial stack, the U.S. Treasury. We are finally eliminating the historical disconnect between digital cash and its underlying yield-bearing collateral. In the old system, the stablecoin never sleeps, right? It trades all weekend. But its collateral? That collateral puts on pajamas and goes home at 5 p.m. on a Friday because it is trapped in traditional banking hours. It is exactly like having a Blockbuster video store backing your Netflix subscription. It simply does not make sense. The new architecture changes the game entirely. By bringing U.S. Treasuries natively on-chain, we merge the 24/7 programmable cash layer directly with the 24/7 programmable collateral layer.
I must emphasize this point clearly. Tokenized treasuries are not just another asset to trade. They form the central, programmable collateral base of all on-chain finance. They are universally recognized as the safest, most liquid collateral in the world. When this asset moves on-chain, the efficiency gains are staggering. You lock a tokenized treasury into a smart contract, and you can instantly borrow digital dollars against it at 2 a.m. on a Sunday without waiting for a bank to open or a clearing desk to approve it manually. This is the definitive bridge. It is what makes institutional on-chain finance a functional, breathing reality rather than just a concept.
Section 4. Registered wallets and KYC silos.
This brings us to the absolute critical friction point where permissioned regulated assets meet public networks like Canton today and Stellar by 2027. We need to talk about the registered wallet. Just because a public blockchain allows anyone to create an address, it does not mean these assets are permissionless. The smart contracts governing these tokens enforce incredibly strict distribution control. Any transaction falling outside the registered wallet allow list will fail. That is a hard-coded feature, not a bug. Furthermore, in cases of error, fraud, or corporate action, the DTC retains absolute power to freeze or forcefully transfer the asset. So the true gateway to participating in this modern market is getting on to that registered wallet allow list.
And the rules for these wallets are ironclad. A retail user simply cannot register a wallet directly with the DTC. Only a DTC participant can register it. Because the DTC participant holds the ultimate legal liability, they demand absolute 100% certainty regarding who controls that wallet. The wallet must reside on a DTC-approved blockchain. It requires primary user identity information. It absolutely must comply with AML, tax, and OFAC rules. When clients execute trades, the participant remains the sole recognized entitlement holder in the eyes of the clearing corporation. If there is any illicit use of that wallet, the legal liability falls squarely on the shoulders of the sponsoring participant. Because of this massive compliance burden, the system requires two distinct, completely non-negotiable halves of verification. On one side, we have human verification. The institution has to ask, is this a real living person? Does their actual face match their government ID? Are they cleared through OFAC sanction screening? But that is only half the battle. On the other side, we have wallet verification. The institution must prove, does this verified human actually hold the private keys to the specific blockchain address? What is the on-chain history of this address? Both of these sides must be cryptographically bound together before a participant takes the legal risk of adding that address to their highly regulated allow list. You cannot have a registered wallet without simultaneously verifying the purity of the blockchain address and the legal reality of the human controlling it.
Now, here is the huge problem the industry faces today. If identity remains trapped within individual institutions, we achieve interoperability of assets, but we completely fail to achieve interoperability of humans. This is the KYC silo. Right now, a user has to repeatedly verify their identity from scratch at every single bank, broker, and exchange they use. It is wildly inefficient. What the market absolutely requires to move forward is a common trust layer. This is a system where the baseline verification of the human is established once, rigorously, and then dynamically and securely routed to multiple institutions as needed.
Section 5. PiVerify, KYB, and Sign In. I will now dissect the specific infrastructure perfectly positioned to dismantle this human onboarding bottleneck. With over 18 million verified individuals already in the network, PiVerify provides the exact foundational data required to satisfy the strictest global registration requirements. Let's map it out. A registered wallet needs real human validation. PiVerify provides native liveness checks. The wallet needs OFAC and AML screening. Pi offers embedded compliance support. Institutions need a global user base. Pi supports over 200 countries. But the most crucial capability here, the absolute game changer, is preventing multiple accounts. PiVerify has superior duplicate detection. One human equals one account. That mathematical certainty is the exact foundational layer required before a major institution even considers risking their compliance status to add an external wallet to their allow list.
But a functioning financial ecosystem requires a dual-sided network. Verifying only the retail user leaves them incredibly vulnerable to interacting with fraudulent exchanges or bad actors. Conversely, verifying only the enterprise allows the onboarding of duplicate or sanctioned retail users. Pi solves this by mandating both sides of the equation. Pi KYC verifies the individual human owner and ensures there are no duplicate actors. Meanwhile, Pi KYB, or Know Your Business, verifies the corporate gateway, mapping out its ownership structure and ensuring its regulatory compliance. This creates a deeply interoperable trust network where both the end user and the institutional gateway are rigorously validated.
So how does this actually work in practice? This exact routing flow connects a verified human to an external institution seamlessly. Step 1. Instead of uploading a passport for the 10th time, the user simply authenticates via Pi sign-in. Step 2. The system instantly confirms the identity match. Step 3. The user explicitly grants data consent. Step 4. The external wallet signature is cryptographically bound to that verified identity. Step 5. The external institution receives this verified package and applies their own custom AML rules on top of it. And finally, Step 6. The address is added to the allow list. This provides instant global identity routing, drastically accelerating the onboarding process while allowing the institution to maintain absolute, strict legal compliance.
Section 6. Root wallets and AI agents. Finally, we zoom all the way into the micro layer, the ultimate end-user experience, in the architecture of the upcoming machine economy. We have to understand the difference between custodial and non-custodial setups. Custodial wallets lock your identity and your assets to a single institution's platform. If you want to move to a new broker, you have to withdraw your assets, close the account, and start the painful onboarding process all over again. True portability is only achieved through non-custodial root wallets. In this model, the user retains ultimate key control. They use their verified root identity to temporarily delegate access to chosen institutions. It ensures absolute economic sovereignty across multiple networks, and it makes Pi's natively non-custodial infrastructure the perfect root identity anchor for this new financial era. And this sovereignty is absolutely crucial for what comes next, because the future of on-chain finance isn't just humans sitting at desks staring at trading charts, it is AI agents executing logic at the speed of light. Here is the flow. First, the verified human holds the non-custodial root wallet. Second, they generate an agent-specific, mathematically enforced limited key. Third, the human sets strict limits, asset limits, time limits, and approved counterparty limits. Fourth, the AI agent goes out and executes market actions on their behalf. And fifth, the human can instantly revoke access at any time. Because the human is verified at the root level, they can safely delegate this highly specific, revocable economic power. And the institution on the other side, they accept the trade with full confidence, knowing the root wallet is cryptographically bound to a cleared, real human being.
We have covered an immense amount of ground today, tracing the exact sequence of events activating right now. The DTC's onboarding hub and the July 15 production launch serve as the heavy institutional foundations. Tokenized U.S. Treasuries act as the programmable collateral fuel driving the system. PiVerify is the human passport, PiKYB is the corporate operating license, and the registered wallet is the exact on-chain account where they meet. I leave you with this absolute reality. The multi-trillion-dollar shift to on-chain finance requires this complete interlocking puzzle to function. The pieces are on the table. And right now, in July 2026, they are rapidly snapping together. But as we watch this historic transition unfold, it leaves us with one critical question to ponder. If programmable money and hyperfast AI agents are taking over the daily operations of the financial markets, who actually owns the master key to your digital identity?